Hi, this is Kristen Nicholson, Career Prep Facilitator for South Central Michigan Works. This presentation is on ethics and social responsibility. We're going to be discussing how to demonstrate integrity and ethical behavior, act responsibly with the interest of the larger community in mind, awareness of importance of workplace policies and procedures. Think about what ethics means to you. These are principles or standards that govern our behavior. We learn these from our parents, the environment we grew up in, any type of businesses that we've already worked in the past. What is right is not always the popular choice, just as what's popular is not always right. Ethical ideas govern the way that people behave towards employers, supervisors, coworkers, and customers. Different groups set ethical standards from societies, communities, organizations, religions, and families. Some common ethical problems for businesses are employee theft. Theft costs businesses more than $400 billion each year. Think of things that employees might steal from their employer. How does this affect the company? Copying software. An employer could be sued. Violation of copyright laws, fines, or imprisonment could be placed on the employer or yourself, as well as drugs on the job. Using drugs on the job is 3.6 times more likely to have an accident. Accidents cost the employers more money, and usually if there is an accident on the job, you'll be required to take a drug test. If drugs are found to be in your system, you may be immediately dismissed from that job. Unethical behavior costs employers money and moral problems. It affects the employee's reputation as well as the businesses. What is ethical behavior? Knowing what the right thing to do is the hard part. You may differ from what others think is right. We all learn our ethical values while growing up, and we use these as an adult. There are 3 basic problems with doing the right thing. The first one is not knowing what is expected. You don't know whether it is right or wrong. In Chapter 11 in the Job Savvy book, you may read some of the scenarios that they have put in place. The second one is conflicts in ethical standards. Your ethical standards conflict with those of others. And the third one is a dilemma about a situation. There are several questions that you can ask yourself in determining how to make an ethical decision. If you have trouble deciding how to act on the 3 scenarios, which most people do have some difficulty when faced with ethical decisions, there are these questions that you can ask yourself before making a decision. You may need to answer several questions or all of the questions before making your final answer. Just because you answer one question doesn't mean the act you are considering doing is ethical. The first one, is it legal? The second one, how will it make you feel about yourself? Will you feel proud, guilty, embarrassed, joyful? How do others feel about it? How would you feel if your brother or sister, family member, your child saw you doing this act? How would you feel if the whole world knew about it? Does the behavior make sense? Is the situation fair to everyone involved? Will the people in authority at your organization approve? Would your boss be happy if they saw you doing whatever it was you were doing? How would you feel if someone did the same thing to you? And will something bad happen if you don't make a decision? Again, if you refer to Chapter 11 in the Job Savvy book, you can read some more examples of Roger, Lisa, and Jane and apply those questions to what you've learned. Would you change any of your answers? Some other common ethical problems that workers face on the job are favoring friends or relatives. This may be offering special treatment or discounts, administering promotions out of favoritism. Some companies have policies on whether or not you can serve family or friends. Cheating employer out of time. Some other examples of this are breaking for longer periods than allowed, coming into work late, leaving work early, hiding place to avoid work, conducting personal business on the job. These are some areas where you want to take a look at, and where knowing how to behave will keep a new worker out of trouble. Another ethical problem is stealing from the company. There are many things that you can steal from the company as far as materials, products go, as well as time, money. The last one is abusing drugs and alcohol. This is going to lower productivity, also the quality of the product, and there's also safety hazards involved. Keep in mind, abusing drugs and alcohol is included with prescription drugs if they are not prescribed to you or if you're taking more than the recommended dosage. This could also be an issue. Violating matters of confidentiality. Sharing confidential information about a company or its customers can cause great harm to that business. Trade secrets about products or services can be used by competitors to duplicate products. Customer lists can be used to lure customers away. Private information such as salary, personal records, performance reviews, attendance are often protected by confidentiality policies as well. Knowing about other employees' unethical behaviors. If you are told personally or observe the employee in the act, you may be considered guilty by association and could also find yourself in disciplinary action. Violating the organization's policies. Depending on where you're working, you may have certain policies in place. You want to make sure you read those personnel policies and follow them. You may be disciplined for violating them. How you deal with ethical problems will determine how successful you will be on your job. If you continually do the wrong behavior and make unethical decisions, your supervisor may be dissatisfied and ultimately end up losing your job. Again, if you refer to Chapter 11, you can look at 3 more scenarios of Shane, Justine, and Lance and apply what you've learned. Social responsibility is an example of acting ethically. Social responsibility is to act with the interest of the larger community in mind. Businesses may do this by having projects that raise money for research. Think of pink garbage receptacles that are used to promote breast cancer awareness. Diet Coke has a big ad campaign as far as heart disease. It may also require workers to volunteer within the community, recalling products that may be dangerous, promoting recycling or going green initiative. Ways that individuals can be socially responsible are if you found a lost item, returning it to the lost and found or trying to find its rightful owner. Think about if you would turn a family member in if you were 100% sure they committed a crime, or your own child. Again, apply those questions that we learned earlier in this presentation. How would you feel if someone did the same thing to you is the predominant question you want to apply to that scenario. Littering, recycling, volunteering, and being a designated driver are all examples of acting socially responsible. In ending, you want to follow the basic golden rule, which are do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people the way you want to be treated. We all teach people how to treat us. If you give a person an inch, most likely they will take a mile. If you let them walk all over you, they will continue to do so. When you treat them with respect, more chances are that you'll get respect in return. And we all are an example for our children. You may not have had a choice on how you were raised or grew up, but you do have a choice as an adult and as a parent to make that change for your child. The decision is up to you. In summary, supervisors evaluate workers based on their behavior. Unethical behavior will most likely equal discipline and possibly job loss. You want to maintain good self-concept and behave ethically. This is not an always easy decisions. You need to apply those questions that we talked about earlier to make the best decision. You also want to act ethically and socially responsible at all times, regardless of who you are dealing with.
You have now completed watching the presentation. On your job search logs, in the results section, please put the name of the presentation and give yourself a half hour. Once you completed presentations, you will need to go into the Service Center, asked to take the Employability Skills quiz. You will take the corresponding quiz that lines up with the presentation that you have just viewed. Once you have completed all 10 presentations and taken the corresponding quizzes, and also did the in-person information technology class, you will have earned your Employability Skills endorsement. Remember, this is an endorsement to your WorkKeys test, so you will want to make sure that you complete all 3 actual WorkKeys tests to get your whole National Career Readiness Certificate. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about these presentations or your hours, please see your career manager. Thank you.